Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Brianna and I decided to take a break from social media. If you have not seen my previous video, I will put it up here for you guys to watch. It's kind of like a part one of pretty much why I decided to take a break and how it was going for the 1 week update. Today is, I believe, day 14, so we have made it to 2 weeks off of no social media. When I say social media, I'm talking about Instagram and TikTok in particular. And yeah, I wanted to give you guys just a quick little update of how week 2 has been. Just to be transparent, it has not been easy. I think I've mentioned even in my first video that the weekends are the hardest for me. That's where I find I have a lot of free time, a lot of downtime, and I typically am on my phone a little more on the weekend. But I feel like this week I have learned so much about myself, how I'm tempted, and experiencing peace. Like there's just been so many emotions, and I feel like I felt them all in one bundle, like this ball of just tangled rubber bands. And yeah, I think also too, like, and I'm so sorry if this is repetitive from my first video, but it's so true. I feel like I've still have felt so much less anxiousness, and I feel like I've experienced much more peace. And I also feel like I'm just being more obedient. And yeah, for a background, like I have spent so much time on social media. I feel like it's overtaken my mind, my body at times. Like it's just been this ongoing issue that I always kept in the back of my head. Like I spend way too much time on here. And one day I kind of just decided like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna delete the apps and I'm going to truly lean in on my faith right now. I need to fully lean in and listen to God and ask him for guidance. And I feel like that's exactly what God's been doing. And like anything, when you take away something that you spend so much time doing, that is giving you this rush of energy, that is just fulfilling your needs, taking it away so instantly can be very, very hard to you. So a couple things I've been doing this week, aside from work. Honestly, work has been such a great distraction, but in like the best way. I feel like I continue to try my hardest to be more present with my students, and even the people in my life, my family, my husband, my friends. Something that I have started to pick back up reading is this book that I really want to share with you guys, and it's called 12 Ways Your Phone is Changing You. I love this book because not only does it put things into a perspective, but it also refers back to the Bible. It is a biblical book that refers to scripture, that is true, that is not necessarily opinionated, but it's simply factual things. Really have been enjoying this book. I feel like it's been something that I have connected with my time off of social media. I think this week overall, I've kind of had moments where I've felt lonely. I felt isolated because I didn't realize, like, wow, so many people around me are hooked on this social media stuff. They're hooked on the platforms. They're hooked on who's updated with this and the latest news of this, that, and the other. And I feel like this week has brought a lot of loneliness and isolation for me, but not in a bad way. I actually am not mad about not knowing the latest this and that. We were driving to church this morning and my husband was like, yeah, so I guess they officially banned TikTok. He opened up the app and showed me what pops up when he does open the app, and it just simply does not refresh. It just kind of says there's an issue, it's not working right now. And I feel like I would be like, oh my gosh, like when I get back on, if I get back on, it's not gonna be there. Like I'm missing out on all these things. And there was just this peace within me that was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. And the car ride just went on, you know? I just didn't feel this gasp. I didn't feel like, oh my goodness, I missed out on all these things. I think FOMO is a huge thing with social media. We truly think that we're missing out on these things, and we're actually not at all. I literally know people. I have a very close person to me who actually does not have any social media, and I, from the outside, like, feel like her life is so peaceful, so private, which leads me to another thing. Like, I feel like this second week has also, I feel like the second week has also led me into just really cherishing my privacy. I feel like social media is very much in your business, even if you don't typically post as much, you know? Like, if you're not much of a producer, even if you're consuming, you're still, your privacy is still in a way invaded. And I am so thankful to God that I get to keep things to myself. I get to take in moments to myself. And I don't think it's a selfish thing. I think it's just like, some things are meant to be between you and your people, and other things are just not meant to be shared all the time. I don't feel like I need to share everything. Another thing I've noticed is, like, when something happens, or I go out to eat, or I'm going on a date with my husband, I don't feel the need to pull out my phone and take a picture of it and capture the moment to post on social media. I love that, because I feel like in the past, when I was consumed on social media, I would just, oh, I need to make sure everyone knows that I'm doing this right now at this time. It's like, I look back and I'm like, why was I even doing that? Like, why did I feel the need to share every single thing about my life? I don't know. But anyway, I wanted to share some scripture with you guys that I think really just resonated with me, and I really hope that it resonates with you all as well. So the scripture that I wanted to share with you all is from Romans 12 verse 2, and it says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect." I honestly feel like my vision on life, my perspective, has just been so much clearer with social media being out of my life. With social media, when it was in my life, I just felt like I was always confused. I was always thinking in a worldly perspective instead of a biblical perspective. And I feel like when I did have those moments where I pray, like, God, like, I need a shift in my life. Something needs to change. Like, let me experience your love and your peace. And I felt like God was saying, like, you need to take a break. And when I tell you that the second I took the break, and now being 2 weeks in, I feel like God has made so many things so much more clear to me. My relationships, my friendships, my job, like everything around me, I feel like God has truly made so much clearer, because my mind was fuzzy and it was confused, and it was just led to all these worldly things when I was on social media. And so I really hope that that scripture inspires you all, and I hope that it encourages you, that when you seek God's kingdom, like, God blesses you and God restores so much in you, and you have to be willing to let go of the very things that you have idolized. And that is something that's so hard to admit. It was so hard for me to admit to my own self, like, hey, this is an addiction. I need to step away from this. I need to pray. I need to fast, and I need to seek God. I need to ask him for his guidance and his wisdom, and ask him, what direction do I take? And one thing I've learned through this entire experience is that when you ask God for something, he gives it to you. He will answer it. If you feel like God is not answering you, it's probably because you are so consumed with things of this world that you are not focused in on him. and then you eventually start believing the enemy's lies, that God is not present, that he is not listening, that he does not care about you. And I feel like the enemy is so slick with doing these things. And it's in the smallest little pieces in our lives when we're the most vulnerable, the enemy takes over. And so, yeah, that was like that's my 2-week update, you guys. I honestly feel like every day is not necessarily easy, but it gets more peaceful. I feel like things become more clear. And I'm so thankful that I'm doing this, and I hope that it encourages you guys to take a break and just realize, like, the things of this world are so temporary, and we are focused on a lot of the times the wrong things when the answer is right in front of our faces. So I hope that this encourages someone. I hope that you guys are just using your discernment. You know, if you need a break, take it. Because no one else is going to do it for you. You have to do the hard work. But the amazing thing is that God is with you at all times, especially in times of need. And so, yeah, I will give you guys a 3-week update. 2 weeks have been hard. It's been amazing. It's been beautiful. And I'm excited to give you guys an update on how things go with week 3 off of social media. I hope you guys have an amazing week. And again, please feel free to reach out to me in the comments. Obviously, you can't DM me, I won't answer. But I truly hope that this is just reaching out to someone. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned. And I will see you guys next week and my 3-week update of no social media. Have a blessed week. Bye, guys.